What's up, guys? It's Crash, and I want to talk about the anti-cheat and Delta Force. And I know this is going to be a little bit of a touchy subject, but I'm seeing some really unique things that they're doing over there with the anti-cheat. I want to bring them to your guys' attention and also see what you think on it and see if there's any other games that have been doing this, because I haven't seen this kind of combination of tactics to combat cheaters. And as you guys know, that's an issue, right? That we can see coming down the pipeline when you have a looter shooter, you know, that encourages real money transactions. We've seen it with Escape from Tarkov. There's already some in-game mechanics to kind of combat that. And then you have it being a free-to-play game, so they can pop in, grab another account, and go right back to cheating and being an absolute degen piece of trash. That's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem moving forward, and they're going to have to work on it really hard. But some things have been brought to my attention, some things I found in the game, and my Discord community has brought me some interesting posts from actually a cheater degen Discord, or excuse me, a forum. And it's really kind of interesting how they're combating cheaters, and I thought it was worth talking about because if it interests me, it might interest some of you guys. So we can see that what they are using is called Ace, and it's the anti-cheat expert from Tencent. So on the surface level, it looks like just like a kernel level anti-cheat. And if you look at the website, it just says things like they have comprehensive protection. It's really accurate. It's ultra low cost with some APIs that are built in. It talks about how it can detect changes in like interactions with the game with speed and stuff like that. And you don't really get like a full breadth of what's going on under the hood. But this post was brought to my attention from a Discord member. Shout out Woodverine, what's up, man? And it shows what they're talking about with this Ace anti-cheat and something that it does. They said they were trying to make ESP for it, and this absolute loser says it may be similar to Valorant Wii game. If this issue is the same approach to bypass them is similar, the older way already detected and patched. Now we need a little bit more steps to fix it then, and yeah, for make it simple, it needs DMA and a second PC to make simple ESP work. Ace can do screen capture and recording without you knowing that, so any ESP will be hard on this type of anti-cheat. So right there, we can see several things. Now, there is the controversial side of this, right? Like, they could record your screen when you're in game. It does linger for a little bit when you're tabbed out, that process is still running where they can see what's on your screen. But this allows them to detect people with ESP, with like wall hacks, where they can see things through walls. They can look at your screen and see what you're seeing. And what this person is saying, what this absolute loser trash can is saying, is that to be able to get ESP to work on this, you need a whole second machine with DMA, which is also direct memory access. So you need to set up kind of conglomeration of two machines to even make wall hacks work on this thing, because they can look at your screen. And I think that is really cool. And you might talk about how, I mean, it's definitely worth mentioning, right, though, that this is Tencent. This is a Chinese company, you know, traditionally kind of an economic enemy of the United States of America, that is able to look at your screen. They're able to look at it, record your screen. Now, it does appear to only run when the game is on. When you tab out of the game, it lingers for a little while and shuts down, but it is there. So that's something to think about. But in my opinion, for me personally, like Crash's use case scenario, there's nothing on my machine that's malicious. There's no financial records or anything crazy. I use this for gaming, for streaming, and for editing YouTube videos. So there's really nothing on here that they can screen record to get information that I don't want them to get. I would rather them kind of catch the cheaters. And the other thing in game that kind of everybody can see, I want to pop over to the website. And if you go over to the website, this is really interesting with GTI Security, which is, you know, the Global Threat Initiative, or, you know, whatever they call that in the game. But there is a whole website dedicated to this. And not only can you report players, but you can actually follow up on what you've reported. So it shows player names, report date, and follow-up, so you can keep track of players that you've reported, as well as the status of certain things, what kind of violations that you have to deal with and stuff like that. There's something else coming soon. You can also see how they've banned over 1,000 players already. You can see the reports and some of the usernames of people that they have banned. And if you kind of look at it, it's been hovering around 7,000. And this is just like, to put it in perspective, right? Like, how big of a number is that percent wise? It's usually around like 7,000 to 9,000 people playing. This is a closed alpha. Not everyone has a test of it or has access to it. But if you think about that, like, you have 9,000 people playing and you take out 1,000 of them, like, that's a significant chunk of people that have already been banned. I know that's not the total players. I know that's just concurrent players, but I'm just saying, like, a visualization of how big of a number 1,000 is. I think it's pretty significant of an amount of players, you know, because you have people leaving. There's not just that's just not 9,000 people playing the game all the time. That's concurrently. But I'm just saying, like, as a visualization, taking out 1,000 players in the first couple weeks is a pretty significant number of cheaters that they've already caught. Those players are going to be banned, also hardware IP ban and all that stuff when it comes out the next time. I know there's ways to get around that, but you know, it should stop a few of them. But seeing that they have to screen record and have to get around that with a second PC and DMA is helpful. That it's not, hopefully it's not, I'm kind of ignorant when it comes to this stuff because guess what, I don't cheat. But hopefully that means it's a little harder. People can't just simply download cheats that work because they can double check and record your screen. The other thing that I think is really, really cool, and I don't know if I've seen this before, that if you go onto report and open this up, you can actually open up a Google form and you can report the source of the cheat. So if you come across a Discord of cheaters or a forum of cheaters or anything like that, you can actually find those sources and report the sources to the team. And I think this is really cool. And I've always said this, that I think what companies need to do rather than trying to ban and cat and mouse them is go after the sources of these cheats. So maybe when they put out a new cheat, they can download it, they can counter it a little quicker. Or maybe in a perfect world, it's Tencent, they're a big company. Maybe they can do some legal action against some of these cheaters. But you can actually get on here and say where you found it, put links to the cheats, your contact information if they want to get in touch with you. And you can actually on the website report the sources of the cheaters. So between having the in-game report system where you can follow up in-game, you also get messages if someone is banned, as well as like the screen record, so cheaters have to have a second machine, and being able to report the sources of cheaters, I think is actually really cool. And I have not seen that combination of things. You know, there is a kernel level anti-cheat. And again, I see the other side of it, right? This is a Chinese company with access to your machine. If you're like me and don't have that much stuff on your machine, I really don't care. They can check it out, whatever. But I really think this could help with cheaters. Is it going to go away? No, definitely not, guys. There's always going to be some kind of cheaters in here, but I just thought this was an interesting thing to talk about, this kind of, you know, however many pronged approach that they're taking between the screen recording and all that stuff. It sounds really, really cool. Do you guys think it'll be effective? That's what I want to know, if you guys think it'll be effective. But I like to see the movement of attacking the cheat providers and being able to report the actual source of cheats rather than just the in-game reporting system. And then you never know what's going on with some other things like Activision's Ricochet anti-cheat, which I am convinced is not real. I think it's a psyop. But anyway, guys, let me know down in the comments what you think about all this. If you think this anti-cheat has any prayer, anything of working. I thought it was really interesting of the things that they do and how they do it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it to the end of this video, I cannot thank you enough. I appreciate it so much, and I'd love to see you on the next one.